All right, Kyle Neddenritt back here again with our Fab 15 whip around and talking to Drew Schauss here at Avon today. And Drew, got a chance to watch you guys a little bit this morning. Already kind of know you've got a lot coming back
Yeah.
from your 15 win team last year. A lot of excitement around the program right now and what you've been building here, and I'm sure you're excited. And
Yeah.
what are kind of your, as we get started here, what are your expectations and kind of does the standard change a little bit when you've got so many guys coming back this year?
I think one of the biggest things is not really the standard changing, but I want to compete every day. Practice games. When we first got here, it was like we were trying to figure out how not to lose games. Now we're kind of getting to the point where, okay, how can we beat these teams with what we've got? We've got 7 seniors that have kind of built this culture that we've got of hard work, intensity, playing really good defense. And I think with the addition of some of our underclassmen, I think the expectations are that we're in every game. We'd like to finish in the top 3 of our conference, and I think that's a huge accomplishment if you can do that in the HCC with the level of players and coaches.
Do you get a sense going into the off season? You come off winning a sectional title, which is a big deal. Obviously, you get to play in the regional and kind of get to experience that. Do you get a sense that there's maybe a different level of not overconfidence, but maybe like, okay, now we've done something, and maybe a little bit of a swagger to the guys now?
There is a little bit of a swagger. I think the biggest thing though is that they know they can win. Mm-hmm. Before, we hadn't beaten Brownsburg since I got here, and then we beat Brownsburg, we beat Plainfield, and now they're starting to make that belief in that, okay, have the confidence to play, and they're making plays, and you've got 5 guys on the floor that can do that. But I'm excited that they're not overconfident. They're still really hungry, because a lot of the guys, I feel like, haven't had that success, whether it's offers or recruiting, anything like that. So I think that's still pushing them to want to get better. But it's nice to see them be confident and have that belief in themselves that, hey, we can win these games and we can make a push to be one of the better 4A teams in the state.
And you're probably one of the few teams. This is a really good senior class generally around the area and the whole state, really. But you have a group of guys that it's almost like I think your strength is really your balance, and you have so many different guys who can do so many different things for you that it's hard maybe to scout you or know you can't stop just one guy necessarily. But let's talk a little bit about your guys, because you got, I think, your top 6 scorers coming back from last year. And, let's talk a little bit about those. I know Jedediah Manette, obviously a really good shooter, and he's one of the guys who's a junior. But, start there and kind of go through some of the guys you got coming back.
Yeah, Jedediah is an extremely special player. His basketball knowledge has increased. His work ethic continues to get better. He's shooting the ball well. He's dangerous because he's extremely athletic, too. He's really long. He shoots it well. He's got a quick release. Leading scorer last year. And then you got DeAndre Lott Hancock, who will be a senior, first team all-conference for us. Finishes around the rim better than a lot of people in the state. Really strong, really good defender. Kenny Dunmore, who was not as healthy last year but is very healthy now, has our school record in blocks. Really athletic, really good around the rim, but also good vocal leader. Rohan Pearson, who hit all the game winners for us last year. So when, like you talk about our depth and the ability, when you think you've stopped one, now you got a kid that maybe didn't play as much last year, and he comes in and has 18 in the sectional final. Has done really well. Rashad Bethley. Rashad Bethley is going to be a 3-year starter for us at point guard. Extremely smart basketball player. Very good shooter. Shot 45% from 3 last year. And you got Isaac Kramer. Isaac Kramer started for us half the year last year. Really good shooter. Really smart. Really great kid. Hardworking kid. So those are those seniors. Plus, then you've got Enoch Adewabola, who will play with us for the first half of the season, who had a really good game against Danville last year. Is a great locker room guy. And then Brooke Hale, who's been kind of a senior leader and a focused guy. Hasn't played a ton, but has the ability to play a lot for us.
And you've got Enoch's going to play at Minnesota, so he's going to be leaving to get started up there, and had a really good. A guy who didn't play a lot of football, and then all of a sudden he's a Division I, Big Ten defensive end. So good opportunity for him. And then you're adding another good piece this year, and talk a little bit about Barry coming in for you.
Carrion Barry is a transfer from Louisville, 6'5", really well built, athletic, can get downhill really well, shoots it pretty well. I mean, he's got 2 or 3 Division I offers now, so he adds just. When you talk about 5 guys being able to, extend the floor and score, that really helps us but he's also going to be extremely good with, he's a great teammate. He passes well, he rebounds well. But adding a piece like that to our team is going to make us even more dangerous down the stretch.
When you look at your team, what as you get started here, what are maybe some of your, like, this is going to be a key for us to maybe take it to another level, or are there things you kind of look for, like, is it outside shooting?
I think a lot of teams zoned us last year. And we struggled with that to start. And that's on me as a coach. I didn't prepare us well enough for a 3-2 that Plainfield played against us, or Brownsburg's 2-3. And I think the outside shooting is going to be key. We're really athletic. We're really quick. We're good off the dribble. So if I was playing us, I'd play zone as well. So I think it's going to be that outside shooting piece. So we focus a lot of our skill development on shooting off the move, shooting on, filling up in a zone, cutting through to the corner in zone. So I think that outside shooting, and then our turnovers. I think that's going to be a huge thing because we will play pretty fast. I'm not worried about the defensive effort. I think we've kind of built that, ingrained that into our culture and how the guys play. But I think that outside shooting and turnovers are going to be huge. Just limiting turnovers, and then shooting as a team 42 or higher percent from three is kind of our goals in the year.
What is the, I was going to mention the defense looks like a positive. You guys can play, you got Dunmore in there who can, block shots and rebound. So you got somebody on the back end who can, and the guards who can make things happen too. Yeah. Do you feel like that's going to be a strength for you guys, is being able to really get out and pressure people?
Yeah, and we've done a little pressing before, whether it's man or zone press, but I think our ability in terms of pressuring in the half court, we play a pack line man-to-man defense with gap help. So I think that's really benefited us, is being able to pressure the ball, but knowing we've got help back there. We switch a lot, whether it's off ball or on ball, because we trust even our small guards to be able to front in the post and do things like that. So I think the ability for us to be so versatile defensively, whether it's picking up full court, sitting back in the half court, just applying pressure, but also forcing teams to take tough contested shots.
Well, here again talking with Drew Schauss at Avon, and Avon 15-win team and a sectional champion last year. Do you guys go into I know some coaches are like, hey, we don't talk too much about goals and expectations and things like that. Do you talk much with the guys as the season gets going about, like, here's where we want to be at the end of the year?
Yeah, and you steal this from a lot of those leadership coaches with that, but I want to look at it from, your microscope and then your telescope. We got to take every game one game at a time, but then you also have to look at the big picture. Are we putting ourselves in position to win a sectional in a very tough sectional? So I think if we take care of what we need to in the regular season, it'll put us in a good spot heading into late February and March to compete with that. But again, our goal every year is to increase our win total, finish higher in the conference. And I think, if we can finish higher in the conference, the rest of it will take care of itself as we continue through season.
And, obviously you guys have the Hendricks County tournament always every year. You have, and I should say your sectional did change a little bit. You have, Ben Davis and Pike added to the mix of Brownsburg and Plainfield. It's a 5-team sectional, but about as good as you'll find. Any other big changes to your schedule this year, or what are some of the highlights? I know you opened with Plainfield.
Yeah, we added Carmel. We added Carmel this year. Then we typically go to Kentucky for a tournament, but the championship's on a Sunday, so we'll go up to Fort Wayne, where we'll play Fort Wayne Snyder, who's got a lot of good young talent, and then Mishawaka Marion, and then the other side, it just depends who'll play in that. And we'll also play Blackhawk Christian with Kellen Pickett and a really good crew of young kids there. And then we're in the forum tip-off, where we'll play Southport, which we typically do. But yeah, I think our schedule still ends up being, regardless in the HEC, you have a top 10, top 15 schedule. But those are the biggest changes, adding Carmel, Blackhawk, and doing that tournament.
And it feels like there's construction going on at every school in the area, it feels like, and you guys are one of them. But I guess this office won't be here anymore, but you'll still have an office somewhere, right?
Hopefully at the end of the year, maybe if we do well enough, they'll put me in an office somewhere around here. But yeah, there's construction everywhere. We're very fortunate and blessed that we're growing as a school. But yeah, hopefully we end up with an office for me somewhere.
And you guys have a new weight room. You got some new things happening here. I know Coach Gibson's excited about that with the football program, but it kind of feels like a new era a little bit with what you guys have done in basketball. I know what he's hoping to get going in football, but do you feel some good excitement about what's happening here?
Yeah, I really do. I think Jason Young, since he's taken over the athletic department, as well as Josh Larsh, what he was implementing before he left, is really made tremendous strides. There's an emphasis on athletics, athletic development, hiring a strength and a speed coach, building a brand new weight room that I think is one of the top ones in the state. but there's just an excitement about, what we're building. I think it's, we had success last year. Baseball had a lot of success last year. Our volleyball has had a ton of success. And I think, as teams continue to have that success, like our tennis program constantly has, I think it's just going to, catch on with everybody else. And it starts in the weight room, though. We've got about 105 kids every class. Everybody's working hard, working together, and I think kind of starts there as a culture piece, but it's exciting to be here.
Well, Drew, thanks a lot for joining me, and we'll look forward to seeing you during the season.
Absolutely. Thank you.